Welcome to this Tutor to You Sociology topic video looking at work, poverty and welfare. In this video we're going to look at Fordism and the organisation of work. Fordism, named after the American industrialist Henry Ford, refers to a system of industrial production and organisation that revolutionised manufacturing in the early 20th century. It encompasses a set of principles and practices aimed at achieving mass production and consumption through standardisation, specialisation and the use of assembly lines. These innovations not only transformed the automotive industry, but also had a profound impact on the organisation of work and society as a whole. One of the most significant innovations associated with Fordism is the assembly line. Introduced at Ford's Highland Park plant in 1913, the assembly line drastically increased the efficiency of production. Instead of a single worker building an entire product from start to finish, the assembly line broke down the production process into a series of simple, repetitive tasks. Each worker performed a specific task as the product moved along the line, which allowed for faster production and reduced the need for skilled labour. The assembly line epitomised the principle of specialisation, where workers focused on a narrow range of tasks. This specialisation improved efficiency, but also had a downside. It could make work monotonous and alienating. Workers performed the same repetitive tasks day after day, which could lead to boredom and dissatisfaction. Despite this, the benefits of increased productivity and lower production costs were immense. Another key aspect of Fordism is standardisation. Henry Ford famously said, "Any customer can have a car painted any colour that he wants as long as it is black." This statement highlights Ford's approach to production, producing large quantities of standardised products. By standardising parts and processes, Ford was able to reduce costs and increase the speed of production. This approach not only applied to the products themselves, but also to the tools and machinery used in production. Standardisation extended to the work environment as well. The layout of factories, the design of tools and the organisation of workspaces were all standardised to maximise efficiency. This uniformity helped to streamline production and ensure consistent quality, which was crucial for mass production. Fordism also introduced the concept of paying workers higher wages to enable them to buy the products they made. In 1914, Henry Ford famously implemented the $5 workday, doubling the average wage for factory workers at the time. This move was revolutionary and had several significant effects. First, it reduced employee turnover and attracted a more stable and motivated workforce. Secondly, it created a new class of consumers who could afford to buy the products they were making, thereby stimulating demand and driving economic growth. By linking high wages to mass production, Fordism helped to create a cycle of mass consumption. Workers earned enough to buy the goods they produced, which in turn increased demand for those goods and justified further investment in mass production. This cycle was a key driver of economic expansion in the 20th century. Fordism had a profound impact on society and the economy. The principles of mass production and mass consumption became the foundation of modern industrial economies. The efficiency gains from the assembly line and standardisation helped to lower the cost of goods, making them more accessible to a broader segment of the population. This increasing consumption contributed to the rise of the middle class and improved living standards for many people. However, Fordism also had its critics. The repetitive and monotonous nature of assembly line work could be dehumanising, leading to worker dissatisfaction and labour unrest. Additionally, the focus on standardisation sometimes stifled innovation and creativity, as workers had little opportunity to contribute ideas or improve processes. While Fordism dominated industrial production for much of the 20th century, it began to decline in the latter part of the century. The rigid structures and standardization that made Fordism so successful in earlier decades became less effective in an increasingly globalized and competitive economy. Companies needed to be more flexible and responsive to changing consumer demands and technological advancements. In response, new production models emerged, such as lean manufacturing and flexible specialization. These models emphasized adaptability, continuous improvement, and the involvement of workers in decision-making processes. Despite its decline, the legacy of Fordism endures. The principles of mass production, standardization, and the link between wages and consumption continue to influence contemporary manufacturing practices and economic policies. In summary, Fordism fundamentally transformed the organisation of work and the structure of the economy. By pioneering the use of assembly lines, standardisation and high wages, Henry Ford created a model of mass production and consumption that shaped industrial societies throughout the 20th century. While the rigid and repetitive nature of Fordist work had its drawbacks, the efficiency gains and economic growth it generated were profound. Understanding Fordism helps us to appreciate the evolution of industrial production and its lasting impact on the modern world. That concludes this Tutor to You Sociology topic video on work, poverty and welfare, looking at Fordism. Thanks for watching.